Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the show. I'm Andrew Z. You can't see me. I don't know why.
Thank you, Jesus.
Back up. Demetrius Nicodemus. We got Chris Tiefel, Gina, Donny P. It's Wednesday. Let's do this as we do on Wednesdays. Welcome to the show, everybody. So a couple things. I look at my news feed. This is I'm a big Olympics fan. I love the Olympics. I watch the opening ceremonies. I follow all the storylines. I'm just a big Olympics guy. However, this year I've been a little guy. You fucker. So I guess this year I'm not following the Olympics at all because I'm just too busy and I just can't invest as much time as the Olympics needs. So I just ignored the whole thing. But as I'm going through my news feed, every other story is Simone Biles, Osaka, like everyone sharing, everyone has their opinions, everyone has their thoughts on Biles, Simone Biles. So I don't even know the lowdown of the story. So Tiefel, if you can give me the thumbnail version of what is going on. I know that she dropped out.
That's your first mistake.
Going to Tiefel?
For a thumbnail version. It started in 1995 when her sperm met the egg.
Yeah, well, I mean, first off, it just makes it clear it's not count towards news stories at the later of the show.
Okay. This is just additional time for you.
Yeah.
Simone Biles had to drop out initially. They weren't saying why. Because I don't know, like she was there and then she huddled with her coach and then they announced that she had some unspecified medical thing that she wasn't going to be participating. Now they're saying that she's dropping out to instead focus on her mental well-being, and she has gotten a lot of some abuse from people, and from she believes that the judges are not treating her fairly. And this is a girl that's worked really hard.
Where did you get the whole she believes the judges aren't treating her fairly part?
Not her specifically. I guess that's just the overall feeling is that she's not being treated fairly by the judges. So whether it's her also feeling it or not, I'm not 100% sure.
Okay, real quick. I thought she said she hurt herself on the vault was the original thing, and then I'm seeing mental now. So I'm just a little confused. Go ahead, D.
She, according to her, she feels that there's an enormous pressure. We also have to remember that this is the first time she's ever traveled without her family. Mm-hmm. Like her family has made every meet, and she felt like the stress of that was hindering her performance. She also felt that stress was also hindering her team. And she said, based on her mental stress and the fact that she wasn't performing up to her regular standards, that she was going to withdraw from the overall competition and the team competition so as not to hurt her team, who had worked very hard to get there.
So what do you guys think about her pulling out due to mental? So there's nothing wrong with her physically. I've seen all support for the most part, except asshole dudes. Like dudes don't understand feelings. So I've seen some asshole personalities on the radio and whatever that they're saying, well, she's an athlete. You need to just suck it up and perform. And it's like tape up your leg. If you're hurt, so just because you're mental, you need to just suck it up. And most people seem to support her. But a mental thing. Look, my wife battles mental issues quite a bit, and I do have to admit that sometimes it's hard for me to understand or give sympathy because if she was in a wheelchair or if she had crutches on or if she would
see it.
You can see it,
yeah.
And you would be more sympathetic, but I tend to not be as sympathetic, and that's a weakness, on a character flaw on me that I don't give her as much leeway on things because of the mental stuff, and I think that's kind of normal in society that we're not to that point yet. We're better than we were, but a lot of
what's strange about people not understanding what she's going through or what's happening with her is it's not the first time it's happened with an athlete at her level. It's not the first time it's happened with like an actor or something like that. I mean, like Dave Chappelle a number of years ago, he was huge with the Chappelle Show, had huge offers, was going to make bank on things, and then he just too much everything. People were trying to all get their hands in the pie and just too much for him, and so he just checked out for a while. He just focused on himself. It's happened before, so it's weird that people are all of a sudden now like, oh, that's just not a thing.
I just don't understand why we feel entitled to Simone Biles or anybody for that matter. If anybody wants to quit being in the public eye for any reason at all, who are we to throw a temper tantrum and tell them that they need to be? That Andrew, stop. That's my biggest problem is that I just feel like we are very entitled. We are not entitled to Simone Biles. She is her own person and she's a human being and she's not there for our pleasure. She exists in this world and can make decisions based on her own experiences without us throwing a temper tantrum and saying what she should or shouldn't do.
Yeah, but 5 years ago, she wasn't when she was on top, and she wasn't worried about us being entitled to her. So I mean,
5 years ago, she wanted to be there. Right now, she doesn't, and our reaction is the entitlement part, not what she's doing. Well, she can do whatever she wants to do. We are not entitled to another person.
There is, and I agree. She has every right to step back, but you also have to understand with fame, there is not. Fame is sought out. There are sometimes, if you rip somebody out of a burning cart, you're not seeking out fame. But there are times when you see these people and then they, and God bless her. I say she's got every right to do this, but people do have every right to react the way they react. And that's just it, because, when you seek it out, and then you only want the good parts of fame, and you're like, well, the bad parts of fame, that's just unfair. No, it's not. It's what comes with fame. You get backlash. You get people who criticize you. People have that right, but it's what comes with fame. Fame and riches and all of those things, they're all great, and everybody focuses on the good parts of it. And then when the bad parts hit, they go, well, that's not fair. But that's the whole ball of wax when it comes to fame.
Deep does bring up a good point that, we see what they've done to Britney Spears. We see what they've done to so many celebrities. Well, if you continue to seek it out and you continue to do interviews and put yourself out there, unfortunately, you kind of know the bad side, but you go with it. You're like, well, the good outweighs the bad, and I want to be famous, and let's do this. And then, unfortunately, the bad a lot of times will bite you in the proverbial ass.
Well, we don't know that she's quitting because of negative public reaction. Like, we don't know that that's the reason.
I think if you just take it like on the surface, as far as her as an athlete, she knows when she can't perform up to what she's supposed to do or where she expects to be and where her team expects her to be. So like at the very baseline level, she's like, I'm not in a space where I can be the Simone Biles that my teammates need. So like whatever the reason.
Right.
Well, and the so the other headline. Anyway, are you guys watching the Olympics? Everybody watching them?
I watched the qualifiers for the gymnastics and a couple of other things, but I don't have time either.
Yeah, this is the first year, like I said, that I've just kind of bowed out almost completely.
The Olympics aren't what they used to be. Remember, and I hate, because this is when I have my old man moment, but it's true. I mean, there was a time when I was a kid, I knew every big player in every sport because it was a huge deal. I mean, you didn't have to be in gymnastics to know who Tim Daggett was. You didn't have to be into swimming to know who these cats were. You didn't have to be in the track to know who Michael Johnson was, who Carl Lewis was. These guys were they were magnetic. And now all of a sudden you have all these, that's too much stuff takes away from our attention now. And now there's too many things on your phone and on your shit for you really to be engaged into something. And the luster has lost its shine.
You're too busy taking the quiz of what kind of bread you are.
Right.
right.
I'm rye bread with pumpernickel. Oh,
it's two problems. Number one, like you said, we are just split so much as a community. And the Olympics is one of the last things where Olympics, Super Bowl, some stuff like that. But the ratings are going down on that stuff. And that's like the last bastion of stuff where we're all doing together. And it's just all going away, which is sad.
Plus this Olympics is kind of unique just because it's at the tail end of the COVID pandemic, and like they don't have
tail end.
Yeah.
What
we were hoping would be the tail end.
Right.
This is a damn Netflix series.
And so it's like there's no fans in the seats. There's no. It's weird. Like I was watching. Yesterday when I was at the Mud Hens game, we were up in a box and they had the Olympics up on the TV, and it was women's soccer event, and there was just the seats were just empty, and it was just weird. It's like I don't even understand how the athletes are even doing under that. Like they're used to having fans. They're used to having all that stuff, and you take that away. That's a big part of the sport a lot of times.
No, you're.
Is it? I mean, are you really used to big crowds if you're a fencer? Are you? I mean, come on. If you're curling, or you're like, wow, why is the stands not full? Because you're curling, dick. That's why. Nobody cares.
It's pretty big up in Canada.
Okay, so speaking of that, and I don't know what's going on with my fucking camera, but I don't know, Josh. It's
AI.
Can you just leave it off?
Looking at you.
Why would you want me to leave it off, Gina? Why would you want the face not the camera? Listenership.
My real thought is that that it might stop you from disconnecting if you just disconnect the camera, so it isn't going. But the other thought is that you're fucking hideous. So
wow.
This face.
Gina, is your face on the side of a truck?
Yeah, face.
Come on.
This face needs to be seen.
Hold on.
Wow.
Now it can be.
This face needs to be seen. All right. Number one. Number two, going back to this Delta virus. Look, you cousin fucking motherfuckers. If you don't get this fucking vaccine, I swear to God, I'm gonna come to every one of your motherfucking houses, and I'm gonna put it in your Pabst Blue Ribbon, you motherfuckers. Take this goddamn vaccine and let's get this shit over with. I am so tired of this bullshit. The three lowest vaccine rates. The states with the three lowest vaccine rates are right now 40% of the variant. Vermont has an 85% vaccine rate, and they are not even thinking about COVID. It's science and it's fucking math. There's no politics in it. It's a goddamn vaccine. It's measles, it's mumps, it's whatever the fuck else we take a vaccine for. Just stick that shit in your arm, you stupid son of a bitch, and let's get this done with. I'm so done with this.
Okay, hold on. You have to pause. You have to pause and give time for the star with the rainbow behind it, Andrew, because you're giving a PhD.
You fucking know.
Thank you. It doesn't. It's not a rain. You need a banjo playing in the background. That's what perks their ears up. Ding, 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 ding. Look, the devil came down to Georgia and he was looking for a vaccine to steal. And so what I'm telling you, son, is you son of a gun, I'm the best it's ever healed. Woo!
so stupid, man. I can't. Here's the problem is, and they're like, well, if you've been vaccinated, you shouldn't be worrying about what I do. We are worried about what you do, you dumb fuck, because if you let this shit continue to bounce around, then there's going to be a variant that isn't covered by the vaccine. Besides the fact, if you're under 12, you can't get the vaccine, so you're putting my kids at risk. You stupid fucks.
That's a hard S.
Dude, you know what?
He ranted so hard it kicked him off the internet.
Like the internet shut down. It was like that was the equivalent of slamming the phone down. Bang!
You stupid fucks! I'm out.
Yes, connection drop.
Dude,
oh.
I was thinking about this all day yesterday and all day today, and I told it's like the unvaccinated and all these people who talk about you're not gonna tread on my rights and all these other things. I'm an individual. Well, now collectively as a group, you are affecting me. You are affecting how I live my life, how my child lives their life. It is crazy now that you wave these flags of rattlesnakes and say, don't tread on me, and have no problem stomping on my rights. You have no problem collectively as a group telling us who have done our part to help and heal this country to fuck off is basically, and then when this shit runs rampant, what you're going to say then is, see, I told you these vaccines don't work. Well, guess what? They don't work because you didn't participate. And now what you've done is you fucked us all. This is the equivalent of having half the ship of the Titanic point at a fucking iceberg and say, maybe we should turn left. And then the rest of the ship going, I think we're good. So,
yeah. Well, here's the problem. The problem. Look, 30. You don't want to make this political, but 30% of the country is brainwashed. I mean, Donald Trump has a 90% approval rating with Republicans still after all this shit. And unfortunately, it's as a country, I think there's only 30% that are crazy. But the problem is Michigan, Ohio, the South, it's a 50-50 country. So when it's a state by state thing, then that's how we get in the situation that we're in. It's not a majority rules. It's I don't know, man. I just can't. I can't do this. I can't do this again. I can't. I don't want to wear a mask again. But
what kills me is the fact that they walk around here and they don't wear masks, but they won't say that they're not vaccinated. They give you some HIPAA shit, and they say, well, that's none of your business. Well,
it's
Bubba,
not even covered by HIPAA. They need to look HIPAA.
I know they lie.
If you're so proud of the political stance that you've made and the thing that you're saying, then tell people you're unvaccinated. We have a right to know. We do.
Well, and here's the crazy thing. Well, you can't ask me that. Well, okay, Skeeter, that when you send your kids to school, you show the vaccine, proof of vaccine. No. So you're already vaccinated to get in school.
No, they just say they're religiously exempt.
No, most people have to show the vaccine. I mean, there are a few trying to come out with it.
Most schools still allow like religious exemption or medical exemption.
I don't know.
Medical exemptions and religious, but you have to offer. You just can't say I'm religious.
You just have to think of something.
How are they going to prove
to put into the vaccine?
Well, yes. Well, tell them there's the
extremists will want in their bodies.
It's mixed with the DNA of Elvis Presley.
Yeah.
What can we put in it?
You'll have a piece of Elvis in you.
It's got NASCAR pass in it. That's the chip.
Lifetime NASCAR.
You get lifetime NASCAR. Whatever TV you walk by, fucking NASCAR just pops on.
Gotta be the best. Take that shit. I mean, Donny, I love it. I know it's just, but I mean, people are playing with this thing. Like, I just don't get it, man. I just don't get it. I never will get it. You know, and we haven't talked politics in weeks, and we don't want to talk politics. We're not gonna talk politics. But
you know what's super hard for me is watching my mom and dad struggle with this. The people that are not the non-vaxxers, because they are so terrified of going back to that place where nobody can come visit them. And they're like, that was torture for my parents, and they're older. And so they're so afraid of going back to that's the part that pisses me off. Like I'm cool until I see my mom and dad getting upset about this, because they are looking at the possibility of spending the rest of their lives in isolation. Like, that's shitty. That's super shitty. And when I look at other people, the people that won't participate and do what they need to do for people like my parents, because they're not, that there's a lot of them. Really, really makes me angry.
I mean, in this area, it's 50-50 in this area. I mean, the bottom line. And here's the thing: we don't have the governor this time. The governor has capitulated to the to where he knows, and he knows he's Republican. That's his people. Yeah. But he's not going to force masks this time. Like,
DeWine has really declined in his advocacy for everything and his protection for everything ever since Dr. Action left. Like, he tried to stay strong, and then he just kept declining and declining and declining and declining.
Look, he did as much as he could.
Blame him.
So can I just throw a side note out there, since you brought Dr. Acton up? In Michigan, they went for the governor, Gretchen Whitmer. And in Ohio, they went for the Dr. Amy Acton, but not the governor. Why is that? Anybody see the...
because he's a Republican dude. Yeah.
Because they're hillbilly fucks.
All right.
Here you go, you guys. I think we should just put it in the chemtrails. Like, obviously... They think there's stuff in there anyway, so
can't we do it backwards? Why don't we put it in our microchips? Like, instead of putting the microchips in the vaccine, put the vaccine in the microchips, because we're all willingly carrying one anyway.
Oh, because there's a chip shortage.
Yeah, Gina.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, duh. Sorry. Yeah.
Let's put it in.
Let's put it in gender reveal balloons.
Josh, which part of what I said is not true?
Fireworks.
Yeah, like they love gender reveal parties and shit like that. Just poof, blue and vaccinated. Look at that.
Yeah.
Come back in 3 weeks and we'll reconfirm what this baby is.
Plus, you get to burn down half a wildlife refuge while you're at it. So, you know.
Here's a great idea. Yeah, I think someone had it. I don't know who just said it, but you put it. They love fucking fireworks, so we just do a big fireworks display at the end of July, and just put the vaccine all in that shit, and then just
needles come flying down.
needles flying down,
like in 300, where all the arrows come flying down on him, raining down, just left laying there with needles stuck in them.
We are vaccinated.
Josh, I was not talking about the political side of it. I was talking about the general public that wanted Dr. Acton out and wanted Gretchen Whitmer out, not the.
Yeah, I really don't care if they strip DeWine of any sort of power or anything like that. He's still a freaking pussy. I'm sorry. Well, even if he doesn't have the power to do the mandates, he should be still being strong on his recommendations and still being strong and pushing every department that he can.
Right. You're right. He should be better than you. That's exactly right.
He's the freaking
I
governor.
hold him to a higher standard than I hold myself. That's right. How dare I must be the biggest pussy in the world to demand that this man act better than me.
Well, here's literally the reason he's in that position.
Here's the problem. Here's the problem is that, and I'm gonna I promise we'll get off this, but whether it's 70% of the country, or 50% of Ohio, 50% of Michigan, 50% of the South, whatever it is we don't care as much. These people care a lot. Like they're brainwashed. They are passionate about it. So we we don't want to harp on it. Like we just want to move on. But the problem is they'll stay on it. Does it make sense? I'm kind of talking in a generality, but trying to see if you understand. Like they're obsessed with doing whatever when it comes to politics and Trump and the vaccine and all this stuff. Like they live this stuff. Like they're obsessed and passionate about it to where we just don't care. So they're going to win because they will stay on it for good. Like this is their life. They love it. Does that make sense? It maybe it doesn't. I don't know how to, sometimes I don't explain things right, but anyway. So let's just get the vaccine or else everyone needs to just we need to move into our own country or cut it in half again and
build that wall. Build the wall
right in the middle of America.
Wall. Yes. Yes. We can call the northern part, we can call it United Healthcare. And then the bottom part, we can call voodoo. Whatever the fuck you think is going to heal you, rub it on your face, rub some chicken blood around your door, whatever. Enjoy chaos.
I have a friend who called me and she said, please don't tell me how stupid I am, because her and her husband have been anti-vaxxers. And she says, please don't tell me how stupid I am, but we have COVID and it's the worst thing I've ever gone through in my life. And blah, 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 blah. And so I called her stupid because why would I not?
There's doctors reporting now in the more resurgence right now where they're having to intubate patients and like right before they're having to do it, patients are expressing regret for not having gotten the vaccine.
I mean, they are
for it.
I know, dude. I know. I just I don't know. I don't know what to do. Like you said, let's build the wall. Like I'm cool with. I don't know. It's fun going, but the South is fun. It's like where all the good weather is. I don't want to stay.
Good food down there too.
Why? Who decided that hot is good? Hot and humid is good weather. Who decided that? The bugs are huge.
Sucks.
It's hot. It's humid. You walk outside and the air is fucking sweating. Why? Why is who decided this? Like we've been lied to. We've been duped. Hot and humid is not.
You know what?
Good weather.
You know why? Because it's the sunshine. People get drunk on sunshine.
There's sunshine right the fuck here in Ohio.
Gina, you're absolutely right. I love living where I live because things change, seasons change. It's not hot all the time, and the dangers of things around here are minimal. You know, there's an occasional tornado. A blizzard. Yeah, there's no alligators and shit like that. Like I can deal with like a stabbing. I can do that. I can deal with the shooting. That a random. I just don't go to the areas where they randomly shoot. Now, but I love the sun, and people when they're exposed to it a lot, they forget about all the dangerous shit, like alligators and hurricanes and heat stroke and all that
and
other
bears.
stuff.
Oh my.
You know, Gina, you're in a better mood when it's sunny. I mean, when there's 2 weeks of miserable clouds and cold weather,
that.
people are just
that's offset. But that's offset. I am in a better mood when it's sunny outside. But then that's offset when the temperature gauge goes above 80, and the more it goes over 80, the more it offsets. And then you add in humidity in there, and then the more it offsets.
Yeah.
Right.
And then I go down and back to even, and then back down to depressed.
The sunshine is right outside of my door. I don't need to go outside. I don't need to go to Florida to get the sunshine. I don't need to.
You don't understand.
Or I can go to Virginia, Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, New York. It all has ocean and beach and sunshine, if that's what you're looking for. You don't need Florida's giant roaches,
that's the Atlantic
alligators,
Ocean, and
snakes.
the Atlantic Ocean sucks.
Okay, then go to California. Like
that sucks too.
You can
Pacific.
Look. Here's the Pacific Ocean.
So I'm so confused. Why the fuck you guys want to go to tropical regions if you're not interested in the beach? You just want heat and humidity?
No, it's
I don't
not
understand.
But the Pacific, you know what you don't understand.
You're like talking. You're like angry talking because you're wearing an extra person. That is why. That is why you're angry. You're mad because like when you think of Florida, you sweat. That is why you were
that
mad.
is true. But D, why do you like humid? You like 80% humidity and 96 fucking degrees?
No,
but I like it better than below freezing.
Well,
no, you don't.
Yesterday was a nice day. With the humidity was lower than it was supposed to be, and it was pretty hot. But the humidity stayed down. I think yesterday was a good example of what a nice hot day can feel like.
Yes,
is what I think.
Yesterday was great.
But
why
Andrew,
do we need tropical?
Andrew, you're built for cold though. Like you have prepared your body your entire life for cold weather.
I'm not a big sweater. I mean, I do sweat a lot on this fucking food truck because it's 150 degrees. But I'm usually not a big sweater. But here's the problem:
that's extra flavoring.
I grew up in L.A. where the Pacific Ocean, so I always thought that ocean water was cold because it doesn't matter if it's July, it doesn't matter when it is. It's always freaking cold in the water, and I just
That's called refreshing. The word you're looking for is refreshing.
I didn't realize down south, like down there, the water, the ocean water is warm. It's beautiful. It's amazing. I didn't know that until I went.
It's like bath water to go into when it's hot out. There's nothing good about Florida.
But
dude.
down
I'm trying
all
to
those
tell you.
tropical people pissing in it. That's why.
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Down south,
Yes.
down south, the water wants to kill you. You get hurricanes every year. I mean, the last time there was a tropical cyclone in the Pacific was like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Like it only occasionally tries to kill you.
All right, so let's go on to something else. We went, Colleen and I, we haven't had a day off in a while, been working a lot, blah, 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 whatever. So we decided to take a day off on Monday, and we didn't do anything all day. We watched 2 amazing movies. I watched Chef with Jon Favreau and Robert Downey Jr. and just a great, one of my favorite all-time movies now. I'd never seen it before.
Out of the 5 you've seen?
Yeah, like you have this huge backlog of classics
that
you need to see, and you start with Chef.
Yes. Or there's another one called Burnt with who's that hot guy? The Burnt, so good.
Was he also a chef? Was it also a cooking?
Were these both cooking related movies?
It was done.
Lightly toasted, Chef Burnt, lightly toasted, and
then I
cereal,
watched Ratatouille.
which was the best.
My favorite cartoon is Ratatouille. Okay, but what was I saying? Oh, and then we saw the movie on Anthony Bourdain called A Roadrunner.
Was every single thing you watched about food?
Yes, it was.
Well, at least Anthony Bourdain had a sign of depression.
I mean,
like food, bread. Yeah, they had a message.
So then we went to dinner, and
wow, I'm hungry after seeing why that guy hanged himself from his doorknob. Wow, you know what I'm in the mood for? I'm in the mood for dangling sacks of potatoes. That was I'm starving.
Dangling sacks of potatoes. So we go to this place that everyone is raving about, this new taco place. Everyone is raving about it. We go there. Food was mediocre at best. At best, I'll give it mediocre. And Colleen and I both agreed it was mediocre. But so I was going to say, you know what? I'm going to post. She's like, don't. She goes, we don't like when people post bad shit about stuff that we have. So don't do it. So you know what? I refrained. I didn't do it. I didn't post that the shit was mediocre. I didn't call them out. I didn't say the name of the place. I didn't say it now. So I'm trying to give everyone a chance. So yesterday we go to Cedar Point. So we take the one day all by ourselves. No kids, no nothing. Just Colleen and I all day Monday. Tuesday, we worked a little bit in the morning. And then we took Josie, our 3-year-old, by herself, just the 3 of us who'd never done it. We went to Cedar Point, just the 3 of us. And we hung out in the kids area. And
just the 3 of us.
Yes, we can make it if we try. So we go and we have fun there. And then this is the second part of my new leaf. So I didn't complain about the restaurant that was mediocre at best on Monday. Tuesday, we have this kid named Abraham who's on the bumper cars. Josie jumped on the bumper cars, but she didn't want to like hit she was a little afraid. She didn't want to hit the gas pedal and do whatever and bump. This kid spent so much time with her. He was on the microphone. Come on, Josie, hit the thing. He let her stay on a second ride because she didn't even move the first time. She just sat there the whole time. So then he goes up next to her. He goes, "You can do this." But like he leaned down. He was right on her level. He said, he's like I don't know, he's 16, 17, 18, I don't know what it was, but he's like, come on, you can do this. He goes, I'm going to buy you ice cream if you hit somebody, blah, blah, blah.
that seems like a dangerous precedent to set. Josie now learns if she hits somebody, she gets ice cream.
Good point.
Whatever it takes.
Whatever
she's
it
in
takes.
her little She's in her little play school car at home and just ramming the other kids.
yelling ice cream.
So this kid just spent so much time with her, and the second time she went, she did good, and we just start walking away, and this kid runs after us. He goes, "Hey, I'm gonna give you money for ice cream." I'm like, "No, you don't have to give us money. Thank you, though. We don't have to." Like, so anyway, I'm like, this kid deserves an attaboy because he just went. He's
making
way
$20 an hour. He's good.
He went way above and beyond.
Yeah.
So I stopped another.
See what happens when you pay a fair wage.
Right? You get good service.
You get ice cream.
I stopped by one of the supervisors, and I said, "Hey, that kid over there is good." He goes, "Yeah, I know. I trained him. He does a really good job."
He's a shut. Why do you gotta steal somebody's shine?
That was shitty.
Like, man, I ought to smack the taste right out of your mouth.
Yeah, I
Just
told
like
him to
that
do that.
doesn't
Just put Josie in a go-kart. She'll take care of it.
Just unreal. I'm gonna have to ask my family to walk away while I throttle you.
So I said, okay. I said, well, cool. He goes, what you can do is you can go to the office, the customer service, guest service. You can go to guest services, and you can give this guy a little attaboy. So I did, and the line of guests we're leaving.
So wait, talking to his supervisor isn't enough to give him an attaboy?
No, I guess not. I have to go to the next step. Like, he wasn't going to do anything. He just said, "Cool, I trained him." That was going to be the end of it.
No,
like if you compliment somebody at any store, they'll tell you to go online and compliment them.
Yeah.
Well, it's everywhere, Tiefel.
You couldn't trust that guy. He was never going to pass on that message.
Nope.
True.
He was going to go say he got the compliment.
Yeah, you know what he would do? He would go, "You know what? This guy walked up to me and said I was such a good guy for training you the way I have. And I just want to thank you for keep getting me accolades there, Albert."
Exactly.
Abraham.
He was on his way to another ride to give someone their 15-minute break.
I know.
He's like, I gotta get to the scrambler, man.
That's true. So I go to guest. So this happened around 2:00 or whatever. We're ending our day at like 6. And so we're leaving, and we say, should we go to guest services? We're getting ready to leave. It's a long day, whatever. Yes, I have to go. So Colleen goes to get the baby in the car. I go to guest services, and there's like 7 people in front of me. So now I got to wait. So I'm like, it's not. Is it that important? Like,
It's funny that you said that, because when I saw that you posted that, I was like, man. Like, I can't believe he took that much time to go to guest.
I swear to God. So I was in line for 20 minutes. 20 minutes. And then I tell her, "Hey, I just want to give a compliment to a thing real quick, blah, blah, blah." She goes, "Okay, well, fill this out." So now I had to go to the supervisor out in the field. Then I had to go to guest services. I had to wait in line for 20 minutes.
Now they gave you paperwork.
Now they give me paperwork to fill out to say that this guy did a great job.
What if, Andrew, you put on there for even offering to buy her ice cream if she was a big girl? What if that's like against their policy and he gets fired now?
Yeah, you know, I do see your point though about going up the chain and not just going to the supervisor, because somebody who's willing to go through all of that crap just to give an accolades to an employee. If I was Cedar Point, I would take those accolades a lot more seriously.
Did you see the penmanship on the form?
I know.
I'll put it up.
Really?
And
he can't even show that off. Nobody thinks that's real. Like, it
looks like he's prescribing medication.
Did they just give a crayon to a random baby and let them draw on a piece of
Josie wrote it
paper?
herself.
Yeah, she wrote it herself, you asshole.
I don't know why it did that.
No, that's Andrew. That's Andrew's handwriting.
Why is my handwriting so bad? Why, after all these years, can I not write? But that's like my normal
Why
right.
does Cedar Point do
It's a
their
time
certificates
thing.
like it's from 1872? Like you're citing the Declaration of Independence or something.
7 years ago.
It's the time thing. It's because you've already spent 40 minutes on this and you don't have time to like slow down and write nice letters. You're just like, I got to write as fast as I can. That's what makes
That
it.
was.
But,
I mean, that now that I heard like everything that you had to go through, I understand now why your writing hand was so exhausted.
So
And-
like,
here's the other thing. Here's the other thing. Like you remember you said like
Josh cracks me up, dude. He said it looks like a threatening note for a kidnapping.
It does.
Yeah, you should have cut out you should have cut out letters from a magazine.
I mean, he had the time in line.
right?
so here's the thing. So you brought up a good point. What if buying ice cream for kids is against policy? But here's my point: is that he let her stay on a second ride, like she didn't have to get off, get in.
You didn't put that in there.
I thought, but I did. I didn't put that in there purposely because I didn't want him to get in trouble. Because he even said on the microphone, he goes, "I don't know if I'm gonna get in trouble for this, but you get to stay on one more ride, Josie." Blah 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 blah. So, but I didn't put that in the note because I didn't want him to. I didn't.
Yeah, I don't imagine they give the 17-year-old ride operators a lot of discretion.
Yeah. Now I can see why he was trained by that guy. Well, slow down there, fucking rock star. All you're doing is letting somebody stay in a seat. You didn't fucking finagle no peace treaty. All you did was just not unlock a car.
So anyway, he did a good job. I committed 30 minutes of my end of my Cedar Point day to say it. Hopefully it means something to him. I don't know. And we'll find out. Like you said,
He's never gonna get it. He's never gonna get it.
It's great. I think it's great that you did it. You decided not to be negative.
yeah.
You spent 40 minutes being positive. Now someone has to write a letter about you being such a good guest of a Cedar Point customer.
We're gonna
spend all that time.
We're gonna have to start a GoFundMe for Abraham when we find out he lost his job because of the ice cream thing.
Is there a line for a place where you can compliment a great guest?
Yes.
I would like to compliment Andrew Zepeda for showing up and just being an all around good guest. He had one corn dog. He shared his drink. He came in. He actually learned one of the languages from the kids that was here, and he can now run the Himalaya. It is an awesome.
This one girl, she's running on one of the rides. You remember yesterday it was almost 90 degrees yesterday. Everyone in the park was sweating profusely, and this girl running the little kid the 4x4 trucks, that go in circle. She's wearing a sweatshirt. And she's got an accent, and I'm like, "What country are you from? This is fucking cold weather to you."
The sun. She's from the sun. She's an exchange student from the sun. She got here. She was like, "Oh, it's awfully cold. I am used to the sun."
Is that the accent they have on the sun?
That is the sun accent.
The Swedish sun accent.
Yes, it's always so hot. Ooh, so hot. Ooh.
Yeah,
my testicles are sweating.
It's so hot, and there wasn't a bead of sweat on this girl because I was looking. I'm like, she got to be so hot. She's wearing a sweatshirt. I got right up next to her. I don't know. It was kind of weird. And then
are we going to talk about the dick rocket? Speaking of outer space,
that sounds really super weird, Andrew.
Sounds like it's something Gina bought on Amazon.
the dick rocket.
Gina's new
I have
purchase.
bought a dick rocket on Amazon, actually.
We don't want to talk. I remember my this girl that I used to be a co-host with. She had her compilation of dick rockets, and she said that she has
compilation like they put together the best hits album.
I also have a compilation.
Why do you have so many? Well, you've heard of Goldilocks, right?
She's one of those girls that's like forever single, and so she had her compilation dick rockets, but she had this best friend that they had a deal that if she were to die or if something terrible were to happen to her, that her best friend was to go into her apartment and take all her dick rockets, and so that her parents wouldn't find them.
I have a deal with a woman that if neither of us are married by the time both of us are 40, she's perfectly okay with that.
With what? With not
a bag of dicks? Like what? Like just
we're just not
perfectly
we're just
okay
not
with
married.
not marrying Tiefel.
Yeah.
oh, she is out there actively looking.
Yes. Oh God, it's coming up on 40.
I only have one
It's like
question.
Logan's Run for her right now.
I only have one question about the Bezos dick rocket.
Huh.
Okay, just one. Or actually not even a question, just kind of a statement. That had to be on purpose because there is zero chance somebody didn't say, hey, that kind of looks like a dick. Like nobody in the entire process said, your rocket looks like a penis. So I know it was on purpose. And I just want to throw that out there because he purposely made a dick rocket.
Aren't all rockets basically shaped like penises?
No. This is bulbous on the top, and
like we all know that the penis is the most aerodynamic thing on the planet, which is why more people should be driving penis-shaped cars.
What is it? Tiefel, you're the nerd. You tell me which one is Starship Enterprise. That one's kind of shaped like a women's uterus and vagina.
I'm able to shoot.
I've never thought of that.
But it is. But
thanks now, it'll make it easier to have private time when I'm watching Star Trek.
Because Gina is right, because I am able to shoot my my dick rocket into a black hole.
Oh no, I'm about to get inbox now. I'm gonna have to hear about this shit all day now, Andrew.
That's something that Andrew will never have to worry about ever getting in a box ever again.
Oh no. You guys, Colleen is gonna be calling and texting me all day about what an asshole Andrew is now.
No, she's just gonna be like this. I was with you all day. Remember that. I was with you.
Yeah,
this is the one thing I don't understand about these billionaire flights up into space, like with Bezos and everything. Like Bezos' entire cost for everything was like $5.5 billion. That's how much. And then the two passenger or the three passengers were like $28 million a piece, and they all went into this thing. They launched in the rocket to go suborbital, like the bare minimum the FAA considers the beginning of space. They spent 10 minutes. And then came back down. Like, if you're
sounds like a normal penis rocket.
Yeah, but like, and the same thing happened with the other two that went up, Branson and everybody. They're going like the bare minimum of what's considered space, spending a couple minutes coming down. If I'm spending that much money, I'm at least orbiting the planet once.
Really? You're making that demand?
Yeah. I'm sorry. If I'm spending $28 million for a ticket, I'm not going to be satisfied with a glorified roller coaster.
I'm not spending more than 10 minutes in space. That's good. If I got $28 million to piss away 10 minutes, I'm not trying to go on no 5-year excursion. You're not going to see me come up. I'm not Mr.
You didn't get out, D.
On Gilligan's Island.
Yeah,
I'm like this.
It was supposed to be a 10-minute tour.
Yeah, like I want it up and I want it down and I want to get off. And somebody goes, so how was the experience? And I get to go, well, you know what? I'm alive to answer it. So it was awesome. Here we go.
Yeah, this is
You're the hell not going on the very first one.
Right?
Yeah, if I'm spending that much money to design and create the penis rocket, I'm at least going into low Earth orbit and orbiting the planet once.
I'm sure that's that's like one of the future steps down the line, but this is like establishing their space tourism. They're gonna be launching people up here all the time.
I mean, they went basically a little higher than a weather balloon.
How many people got 28 million to throw around? How many people are going to be able to do this?
That was just the first trip. So this is like going to be a thing. Like this is the whole point is they're racing.
You got a season pass to Dick Rocket.
Space tourists, for sure.
Dude, watch. What you're gonna see is you're going to see. This is at least what I think is going to happen is it's going to make it a lot easier for people to get around. Once they kind of get a hold of this and control the price, then you're talking like trips to places that instead take hours could take minutes, because now they're using gravity and orbit, the slingshot.
So you're saying there's going to be
nice.
value dick rocket excursions? I'm not going on the Wish version of Bezos' dick rocket.
Hey, first of all, what would make it even better is if everybody had to get out through the front, like just the very top of it, like it spit
and
people
eject.
out, like
eject.
pew pew pew, like billionaire sperm.
And then,
pew pew.
And then you have to flip the parachute on, and it lands down, just spewing people out.
And it gets caught in like a sponge.
This is the second time you shot out the end of a penis.
Right? I'm just trying to look up what they think like future tickets will cost. A couple $100,000. That's a bargain.
Well, you know
28
what?
million for the first flight. Couple $100,000. That's a bargain.
I mean, you guys are too expensive, Gina. But people took the Concorde, and that was expensive as hell.
But here's the thing,
and uncomfortable.
That big goddamn cargo ship that takes people up into the air, and then it dives down, and it gives people that sense of weightlessness.
The 0G thing.
Yeah,
the vomit comet.
Yeah, the vomit comet. All right, so they're now making that available to the regular public. They're taking it to New York, and anybody who wants to ride, it's 90 minutes, and it costs $7,500 a person.
That's
$7,500, 90 minutes. You're up in the air. It dives down. It climbs up. It dives down.
People think I'm crazy for spending so much on going to Cedar Point.
I know.
It's the same thing.
But does Cedar Point give you weightlessness? No.
Yes.
That's why they put those little bars over your shoulder.
But then you're strapped down. You're not floating around.
Well, you get weightlessness for like moments at a time.
You guys,
you ever been on Steel Vengeance?
Hold on, I have to interrupt you guys. I'm super sorry because Andrew's internet is out, and I had to leave early. And he was going to close the show out, but now he can't. So Tiefel's going to have a shit fit because we're about to shut him down. But I do have to go.
Stories.
I mean, okay. If you can do them in like 2 minutes, Tiefel, go.
All right.
Come on, Dick Rocket.
Women in Australia have started noticing an interesting side effect of the Pfizer vaccine. The common side effects are a little bit, site injection pain, things like that. But women are also noting the lymph nodes of their breasts have begun to swell on there. So the side effect of the Pfizer vaccine seems to be slightly larger breasts. On there.
I mean, most vaccines have lymph node swelling. It's kind of part of the reaction.
How do we know it's a vaccine and not some weird spider that they haven't found yet?
Yeah, exactly. Well, women in the U.S., doctors have said that they've noticed an uptick in scheduling of mammograms after women have gotten the vaccine as well. Okay. On there, just women concerned that all of a sudden I don't fit in my bra. It's weird. So on there, so if you're looking for a reason to get the jab, save yourself a few $1,000s on a boob jab.
Yeah,
it's temporary though, right?
It's not 100% in the article on whether or not it's temporary or not.
Definitely going to need a booster for those bigger boobs 9 months down the road.
Booby booster.
Yes, yeah, booby booster. Yeah,
yes, booby booster.
It's like a testicle tetanus shot. Yes.
Okay, next story. Go.
Evangeline Parish, Louisiana, a gentleman has opened up a new trailer park called T-Boys Swinger Trailer Park, where he's inviting swingers from all over the United States to bring their trailers and share your spouse.
I thought that was every trailer park. Wait, this is new?
So he has gotten interest from all over the country.
Every fucking trailer park in the
country. When it's fully finished, the site will have a nude pool, a nude yoga stadium, a strip poker hall, a key party cabana on there. So
you really need a key for a mobile home. Don't you just shake the door real hard? Like, isn't that how like you get in the most mobile homes?
And then if you can't get in, you just hitch it to your truck and take it to the locksmith.
And he insists that the sign at the beginning of the trailer park that says you need to send a picture of your spouse for approval is just a joke.
I just, how many married people live in trailer homes? I just picture that as a big, ex-husband spot.
Yeah.
I don't see somebody like, you know what, we're gonna marry you.
Apparently the swinger community is larger than anyone would probably think.
Well,
All
it's
right,
like
move
campers.
on.
Like,
All right. Well, Michigan State Rep Jewel Jones, Democrat, finds himself in a little bit of interesting hot water. He recently reported $221 of campaign spending at a strip club called the Pantheon Club. According to his filing, it was a constituent meeting talking about potential economic projects.
hey, he was working.
Okay, next story.
All right. Well,
Finally.
All right. Now, last story: Israeli government has declared war on Ben & Jerry's. Ben & Jerry's recently announced they would stop selling their product in the disputed Palestinian territories in settlements that Israel keeps putting up. And apparently, the Israelis love their Ben & Jerry's. So Israel has launched a campaign against Ben & Jerry's to force them to stay in the country and stay in the territories so that they can continue selling their ice cream. Because if they leave, they're afraid that the support for their actions might wane a little bit, because that's how much their citizens love Ben & Jerry's.
Well, chubby hubby.
Whatever they got to do to make world peace. Okay. See, Chris, you should have ended with the swinger trailer park. We got to go.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching, everybody.
I don't think you even give me enough time.
Come on!